Good morning, Ruskin enjoyers. Hope you're doing alright, 'cause it's time for the predictions video. This Rustor, it was an early Rust rotation. It rotated about 17 hours ago. We've got pretty good insight in regards to how much these skins are probably going to sell. But basically, out of all these skins, we're going to question which of them potentially is the best investment for this week. Which of these skins could potentially help us walk away with some sweet, delicious profit. So yeah, early Rust rotation and not that much of a positive response. We've got some interesting collection continuations, and I still think there could be some nice positivity. I wouldn't be surprised within like the next maybe month, next four or so weeks, few weeks. Perhaps we'll see a point where every single skin here will be dipping below their Rust price. And that might be as little as like 5 pennies down. But some of these things are they are looking pretty questionable. But some of these things do look pretty interesting. With the sheer lack of sales, potentially, we could actually see these work out quite nicely because, well, they might not be in demand right now, but in the future, who knows? And if people do want these skins in the future, there'll only be so many to go around. So, okay, cool. The lack of sales definitely could be pretty interesting. But, yeah. A lot of people kind of was hoping to see Halloween today. Nope, next week and the week after. We only have 2 weeks of Halloween this year. And if you want to get a nice little insight, look at the description right now. You'll see the link to the Halloween 2025 contest entries collection. There is over 320 skins. Yes, a lot. It's a lot. How big are the Rust stores going to be next week and the week after? I have no idea. Do not be surprised if we see a mega, insane, huge Rust store. But next week, at the very least, it's expected to be the actual contest winners. I don't know how many are going to be picked, so all right, we'll see. But the week after, oh my, we're expecting quite a lot. So, okay, cool. Let's focus. So with this Rust store, what's looking to be the most interesting skins? Yes, skins. I'm going to talk about the boots and the gloves. So basically, it's almost finished, the Night Demon collection. Sorry, I lost my tongue there, but yes. Started off with the tier 3, then we got the hoodie and pants, and now we have the Roadsign gloves and the boots. All of these skins, they are struggling initially. To get a better sort of insight, I think if we go over to here, because this tends to be a little bit slower to stay up to date with its prices, the hoodie and pants and the tier 3, they are all starting to go below their Rust price. Most prominently with the hoodie and pants here. Now that we've got the boots and gloves, oh, everything's magical now. It's lovely. What the boots and the gloves need is another collection continuation. And, oh, what's that right there? Oh, it's tier 2. You have to take this into consideration. We're definitely not going to see tier 2 Night Demon for at least 2 weeks because we have Halloween in a way. Maybe we'll see a resubmission just in time for November. We shall see. But we just need it to be accepted at any point, any time in the future, please. So, yeah, we kind of really do need that. But if these don't sell that much, especially in comparison to the rest of the set, well, hang on a minute. These actually could still work out quite all right. But some shiny, flashy, quite noticeable Roadside gloves and boots, we'll see. But still, at 99 cents, and with not really that many sales, it's actually looking pretty interesting, all right? Honestly, this Rust store really does look like it's going to be pretty tame, especially compared to the previous Rust stores we've had so far this month. So, okay. We'll keep an eye on you. You are interesting to a point. What about all these other skins? I think I have to talk about the Pirate Backpack. So, of course, with the November Force Wipe just a couple of weeks away, Pirate Collection. I know other pirate skins have been bought out. If I were to go over to here and type in pirate, I'm going to think of like the pirate shirt, the pirate pants. So, yes, pirate shirt, you were bought out. Lots of people want to buy the roleplay sort of skins and whatnot. So if I had to go over to here and show you like the past few months, oh, look at that. It dramatically goes up in price. I wonder why. Because people, they want to dress up like pirates when the actual naval update comes out. When everybody gets to build their own boats, float around. Of course, you know, people can make the little pirate ships and whatnot. So it's not just that, there's some other skins. But that literally looks like a pirate shirt, doesn't it? Pop it back over to here. Do these pirate skins actually look like pirate skins? Stereotypical sort of pirate skins. Would they still be bought because they're called pirate skins? If you don't understand the theme and the design, basically it's as if the actual flag from the pirate ship is being used for clothing and the armor and like being stripped and, you know, wrapped around all the deplorables, if that makes sense. So, okay, maybe it could still work out, but I have to remind you, the rest of this pirate collection, when it initially came out, it came out like, 2023, if I can remember. If I could go over to here, you'll actually be able to get all the numbers and the times and whatnot. So yeah, the summer of 2023, they did ridiculous numbers. So on average, these did like between 40 to 50,000 subscribers. I'm talking about the hoodie and pants, the tier 2, the tier 3, even the primitive skin sold quite a lot. But quite recently, the pirate boots were accepted. A very nice extra late pick to finish off the collection. This only did about 13,500 subscribers. It just perfectly worked out wonderfully. And why? Well, because that sold dramatically less compared to the rest of this collection. But still, right now, as we sit here in October, pretty much one of the worst times with Ruskins, well, all of those are still in the positive. And they still sell lots every single day. This is a collection that's being appreciated. So this backpack, honestly, is looking to be in a pretty interesting spot. There's one little concern, though. That is not abnormal. And if you don't understand abnormals, please consider hopping over to my YouTube. Last night we did the abnormal barders, or rather, well, 2 days ago. To remember what time I'm recording this, but yes. Consider watching the first 5 minutes of this video right here, the Ruskin Abnormal Barders video for October 16, 2025. With the last week's skins, we looked at the likes of the Neon Bed, the Thunder Gold Backpack, lots of interesting skins, but they did sell quite a lot. So we discuss the sales, we talk about the potential future of the skins, and of course we race to do the barders, and then afterwards I look at the abnormal barder support, aka how many barders does each skin have from the previous week? Does it look like they're actually retaining their value? And well, after doing all of that, I looked at this backpack right here and I said, you know what, I'm going to go buy 50 of them, and I did just that. Here's hoping that we do see more of the Thunder Gold collection in the future. So, hopping back over to here. Could we say the same thing in regards to the Pirate collection? Well, we could still see like a jacket. We could still potentially see some more deplorables. We could potentially see Pirate tactical gloves in December. Next month for November, we're going to see the handmade LMG. That's going to become the next Skinnable. But for December, we're going to see tactical gloves becoming the next Skinnable. I don't know what's happening for January or February, but yeah, keep that in mind. So yes, more skins could still appear and give that a good boost. But this will only become marketable when the Rust rotates next week, when we see the Halloween Rust. At the moment, with the sales, I don't think that'll be matching up to the 50,000 subscriber sales that we saw with all the tier 3, tier 2, hoodie and pants. I think this is in a very interesting spot. I should also point out, comparing to all the other backpacks, we do have quite a lot of black backpacks. But in this past summer, during the summer of 2025, these all went up in price quite nicely. People do appreciate a good black backpack. So with this also being part of a well-established collection that is in demand, it's in a very, very good spot. So cool, can't complain. Looking at all these other skins, I have to talk about the BSAP. So once again, I'll talk about, like, please consider watching the Rust rotation video. Quite literally skip ahead and get a good look at the BSAP. We have a transparent aim sight, lovely looking design. And at night time, because it's coloured yellow, you can actually see it quite nicely. Yeah, it's got very good night light. Now, could we see some more skins potentially being made and accepted? A nice weapon collection of sorts? Well, here's the funny thing. This is actually the third weapon skin to be made. We saw an AK, we saw a SAR. Well, perhaps with the cut aim sight on this, maybe Mr. Omnipresent could consider redoing the previous skins, cut the aim sights on them, and maybe we could see those being accepted. Ooh. But let me remind you, the B collection currently consists of that, just these 3 skins. It's not very successful. Whilst there have been many attempts, like more deplorable skins, because it did start off as a deplorable set, none of them were accepted. Face Punch just doesn't seem to be very happy with the designs, I guess. So I'm not sure what's going to happen next, but hey, the set was accepted, a nice inclusion, and independently by itself, with its very interesting transparent aim sight, I think that could be working out quite nicely, pending if the blueprint fragment situation's a little bit better. Quite a lot of people couldn't get a hold of a tier 2 workbench. I'm sure after the patch, it's a little bit different now. People can actually get, sap skins and saps and whatnot. But anyway, I do think with the sheer lack of sales, that could actually work out very nicely. It's been, technically speaking, almost 18 hours since the roster rotated. This is less than 4,000 subscribers. In fact, just to be 100% sure of that, let's scroll down. Yeah, 3,800. That's nothing. That looks like at the moment like it's barely going to reach 10,000 subscribers, which at the end of the day, all the better. Again, if people start to appreciate that after it's out of the Rust store, and there's like hardly any that have been bought, all the better for it to rise up in price. So how many transparent aim sight saps have we had in the past? To be honest with you, I don't actually remember. Was the military sap one? And then out of all these, I can't remember fully, to be honest with you. So, yeah, I'm not fully awake, so I can't remember. But anyway, feel free to comment below if you know any other saps. Not many of them. And perhaps that'll make it stand out even better. So, cool. You're interesting. We'll leave it at that. So, looking at all the other skins, I think I kind of want to talk about the Iceberg Bed. Now, I need to speak to the skin creator. I need to send a message. But having looked at this in-game, and again, consider watching my rust rotation video, I like it. I think it looks cool. And just as we're about to enter the proper winter time, now again, a bit subjective compared to where you live in the world, but getting close to December, and that's very much associated with winter and Christmas. Again, depends where you're on the world, but I wouldn't be surprised if Diaz right here potentially has a brand new deplorable collection right in front of him. Would you like to see a faintly glowing iceberg door? What about, oh, I don't know, water purifier? Oh, mate, nice cold water. But no, I'm talking about like lockers, chairs, tables. That'd be cool. So yeah, he has an interesting collection right there in front of him, potentially. And every year, we do tend to see a collection like that happening. So there's definitely something that could help out, give that a boost. And this is also not selling that much. Just over 6,000 subscribers. At this specific point last week and the week before, looking at the previous bed skins, they would have easily had over 10,000 subscribers by now. Double, triple even. So, yeah, it's looking pretty interesting, this bed. But we are expecting more beds. With Halloween, some very interesting Halloween-themed beds have been submitted. I am expecting at least 2 Halloween beds to be accepted by the end of the month. So, okay, cool. But the sheer lack of sales again, I'm telling you, it's looking interesting. By the end of the week, how far will you go? I don't think you'll be reaching 20,000 subscribers, which will then make you the lowest selling bed skin so far. But there will be more bed skins. So, all right, keep an eye on that. It's interesting. So looking at all the remaining skins, I feel like maybe now I should probably bring up the Senor Tomato miner hat. And it's definitely due to the fact that it's selling like next to nothing. Senor Tomato collection's been a bit goofy. It's been a bit silly. Having looked at this in game, it's fine. It's a silly red hat, and you've got tomato sauce, or rather, you've got pasta sauce right there, whichever you might say. Anyway, if this is selling like next to nothing, especially after the recent skins sold quite a significant amount, over 30,000 subscribers each, at the current rate of sales, this is looking like, with the momentum that this currently has, this definitely it really doesn't look like that's going to reach over 10,000 subscribers. That's going to very likely end up with next to nothing. Not that many people are super eager with the skins today, it seems, but that's fine. So I'm keeping an eye on that. That's actually looking very interesting. It's also not abnormal again, so yeah, that's a bit of a problem. Quite a lot of the skins today, yeah, they're not abnormal. Only 4 skins in total are abnormal, so might be a bit of a problem, but anyway, focusing this. Could we potentially now see Senor Tomato primitive skins being made? Poncho, bandana, hide clothing, burlap clothing, we'll see. It's in Sepesh's hands, but maybe he might not be very motivated because the lack of sales, but hey, it's up to him. So it's interesting purely due to the fact that, well, yeah, no sales. I am expecting some Halloween miner hats to be accepted. There's some interesting designs, but there's not many of them. So maybe we'll only see like one more. We'll see. Okay, cool. So keep an eye on that. I guess I want to talk about the Bones fridge as well. A completely transparent design, not like fully, but like you can see through it on all sides and everything. Doesn't glow or anything, but again, next to no sales. It is part of the Bone collection, but it's not very in demand, is it? No. But having seen this in game, honestly, I think a lot of people would find it pretty funny and actually want to have it in their base. I was making jokes there, aha, here you go, it's the primitive fridge. But honestly, I think a lot of people would probably like see the funny side in it and actually want it. And with the sheer lack of sales, with it being the lowest selling skin, I honestly think that actually might work out quite all right. But again, it's better to wait it out. But I should also point out that it's selling for the standard, deplorable price. This is not abnormal. It will only become marketable when the rust rotates. So quite literally next Wednesday, when we're preparing to do the abnormal barders, we're going to have quite the discussion in regards to all the regular skins. Because honestly, we might have to go for a risky purchase or so. Okay, cool. So looking at the remaining skins, what's also going to be pretty interesting, I guess, to a certain point, I'd like to talk about the Phantom M39. It's an interesting design. Again, to truly appreciate how it looks, consider watching the rust rotation video. But this has a transparent aim sight to a point. You don't have the big circle in the way. It does look nice on the sides. The gold shines ever so nicely. And it is a part of a well-established, very nice and well-established collection that you can see right over to here. This Phantom collection has been around since, what, 2017? There's a lot of skins. There's a very nice clothing and armor set. I think it could do quite all right to a point, but I think we're still going to expect it to drop below its Rustore price. Again, how many M39s have we had in like 2 months? Too much. Look at all of that. Even the one that sold next to nothing, less than 8,000 subscribers, still lost half its price. We'll keep an eye on this. It looks nice, but is there any demand for an M39? Let alone the skins. So that is definitely making me question things. But if you end up with like 6,000 subscribers, okay, maybe that might be interesting. We'll see. Okay, cool. So what we have remaining is a garage door and a salvage sword. I'm going to talk about the garage door. Now you might be sitting there and saying, but Hedge, that's the top selling skin. Yeah, yes it is. But I'm very much under the impression a lot of people mistakenly assume that as a transparent, see-through, glow-in-the-dark garage door. It is not. It is only a glow-in-the-dark door. See, when we hopped over to the workshop, as you'll see right here, initially, I bet a lot of people looked at that, saw that image and thought, oh, look, must be transparent. No, that is the reflection on the opaque design. So a lot of people must have saw that and thought, oh, cool, it's like the inside of a room. No, no, no. Oh, dear. So I've even looked at the comments over here, and this guy here, he's like the perfect showcase of this, is like, I thought it was transparent. Oh, no. So what we kind of assume is a lot of people thought it was like the bombshell garage door. This is $8, and there's a good reason for it. Lovely bit of transparency that we can see through perfectly. You might need to stand on something just to get a little bit more vision, but it's perfect. And with the glow in the dark as well, you can't do any wrong. This and the Bruceless garage door, both of them are appreciated ever so nicely. So it's not a surprise that with this garage door over to here, only $2.49, with the initial impression that it appeared to be see-through, I think a lot of people just thought, oh wow, amazing, got to get it. Are people aware that you can refund a skin if you don't like it, or if you found out it's not what you expected? You can. You can go through the whole process like you would when you refund a game on Steam, so that's up to you. I think this might be a bit problematic, especially with this being number 32 out of all the garage doors being accepted this year. Look at all of those garage doors flourishing right now. Which one? Only that one. Only that one. All the other ones are down in price pretty badly. I will point out, Popstar's down, but not like really bad. That's actually not doing too bad right there, so okay, cool. But yeah, this is looking like we're going to have a record-breaking amount of garage doors being accepted in a single year. We still have Halloween and Christmas. It's going to happen. So just to quickly remind you, last year the record-breaking amount was 34. We just need 3 more garage doors, and of course we're still expecting Twitch drops, aren't we? Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. So yeah, timing's bad, and people just assumed you were something else. So yeah, sorry, but yeah, that's not looking pretty. And then we have the Swirled Sword. Take one quick look at all the salvage sword skins that came out over the past few years, and you'll instantly realise people don't care. So here we go, 2022. Down 51, down 64, down 51. 2023, down 53, down 58, down 51, down 57, down 57. Basically, I could go through all the other like couple months here, but yeah, years. People don't care about salvage swords. They drop off pretty badly, pretty quickly, and they tend to go below $1 pretty quickly. So the only ones that are in the positive, they came out years ago. You know, when they had like hardly any hardly any sales, hardly any listings. You get the idea. So yeah, salvage swords, they're not appreciated, and I can't help but assume that's just going to be a 60 cent to 80 cent barter. Maybe even less, because unfortunately, it very likely could go cheaper. So, yeah, sorry to say, but if you're asking me what's the best investments, that would be lost. So, all right then, cool. What could we see for Halloween? Oh, we'll have to wait and see. But if you were to get like a nice early glimpse, let's hop back over to here. Let me point out that we have a lovely little video for you. I have nearly all the collection continuations being showcased in this video right here. Got all the chapters as well. Yeah, it's a bit long, but again, chapters. You can just get a quick glimpse of all the collection continuations in their workshop pages like so. There's a fairly decent chance a decent amount of these skins that you see right here, they will probably be accepted. Continuations tend to be pretty prolific when we see Halloween Rustores. Christmas as well, so it's up to you, but that's right there if you're getting like a nice early glimpse. Now if I could quickly switch over to here, I'd like to point out something that we have found out in regards to the Warhammer pack. So if I could click this, next week, when we have the Halloween update being put out on October 23rd, we're seeing this being introduced as well. Now, we were under the impression that you're going to get a Spaz 12 shotgun skin in this. No. It is now a pump shotgun. But you're still getting a chainsaw skin in this. The first ever chainsaw skin ever. So keep an eye out for that. Brand new hazmat. Brand new barrels. A very special Corpse of Krieg, Death Corpse of Krieg, pump shotgun, chainsword, and backpack. I think they're going to like that. Not sure what the price is. Let's just, that doesn't say yet, but we'll find out soon. So yeah, that's coming out. And if you go over to here, it's confirmed. Pump shotgun ammo, magazine size up to 8. So, okay, it's a pump shotgun. Next week, we're also expecting a Halloween wallpaper pack. I'm not sure how many wallpapers we're going to see, but cool. If it's going to end up like this over to here, the good spelling, Hedge. Well, it's more my typing, sorry. You may recall the Lunar New Year wallpaper pack. Ever since this came out, it has retained its value ever so nicely. People do appreciate the wallpaper packs. Well, that one. What would the Halloween one look like? And the Christmas one. Yep, we're also expecting the Christmas one as well. So next week when we see the rest of all the brand new skins and whatnot, we should also anticipate the return of all the items. So the Dracula cape is not like visible here. But everything here, except the Surgeon Scrubs, the Skull Door Knocker, the Scarecrow, the Jack-o'-lantern Happy and Angry, all of the other ones are expected to potentially return. Alright? Yes, if you own mummy wraps, you should sell them now. They've been brought back every single year ever since they came out in, what, like 2019, 2020? It will return to $6, so go grab the profit whilst you can. Whereas some of these skins, as you might notice, their prices are a bit lower, lower than what they sold for like last year. You will see these rise up in price. Yes. Especially the carvable pumpkin. If that's brought back at $4, you'll see it get a bit of a bump because people won't want to, go ahead and buy it from the store. They'll just buy it for cheaper on the Steam market instead. So you'll see the price rise because of it. So cool, lovely, nice to be aware, nice to be informed. So that's pretty much everything. I also want to quickly give you a little hint, a little heads up. After looking at some of the skins from like months ago, it really does look like we might be past the worst of it in terms of the autumn fall seasonal dip. So if I could just quickly refresh. It's early morning, not that many people playing right now, big surprise, but it is improving compared to where September was. And this drop-off compared to the summer, it was expected. We anticipated that. From here, with the naval update coming out next month for November 4 swipe, with all that brand new content being introduced, and the ability to turn into a pirate, oh yes, I think a lot of people will be turning up for that, and I feel like that'll be the beginning of some strong momentum towards the end of the year, like we saw last year. World Update came out last year in October 2024, and you can see the player count was very, very strong. And by the time we reached January 4 swipe, record-breaking amount of people we saw. So, could that happen all over again? Everything's lining up interestingly where it could happen all over again. And even if we're just short from last year, that's fine. If it's just as good or almost as good, we should expect a lot of skin prices rising up ever so nicely. So I recommend that if you're looking to buy a certain set of some sort, or maybe some camouflage sets, go look and consider buying them now. Because chances are they're probably not going to get that much cheaper. So if you've got all the funds, look around, consider looking for brand new investments, consider buying the skins you truly wanted and desired. Because as we get closer and closer to January 4 swipe, more specifically January 2026, post-Christmas, it is expected that prices are steadily going to keep rising and peak at some point during January 2026. So cool. So you're informed, you're aware. I am going to make a video tomorrow that'll be out on Saturday as I go through some of these skins and point out, yeah, it really does look like we're past the worst of it. Especially the camouflage skins, because those are a little bit different. They still appear to be going down in price. So all the better to consider buying them now. So yeah, that's it. That's a wrap. We'll see how things progress. We'll see if the sales actually go somewhat high. And keep an eye out on my Twitter, because of course I put out the first 24 hours of sales. It really doesn't look like it's going to be that much. But that's interesting for us, the investors. So, cool. Remember, if you like a skin, just go buy it. Treat yourself. Support those skin creators. Buy it, use it, enjoy it. Maybe they'll be interested and motivated to consider making some lovely collection continuations in the future. And in regards to Xenotype and the small props collection, if you're worried that if it's finished, it's not. The skin creators last week, they had to make some Halloween skins. And because no other skins were submitted the previous weekend, yeah, we caught up. So once we roll into November 4 swipe, do not be surprised to see the return of the Xenotype collection and the Small Props collection. And I know for a fact the Small Props collection is currently getting a new skin being made. I know what it is, but you have to wait and see. So, catch you later. See you. Goodbye.